Hey everyone, welcome back to new Kevin's Creations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cardwell.
And today we're going to be actually going over a fan deck, an Islanders deck. So, I mean, it's got a lot of crazy stuff going on with it. And we played it this last Deck Brawl. We're going to play it again, see what it does, see all the little nooks and crannies of it.
Yeah, it seemed pretty efficient while we were playing it.
Yeah, it does some wild stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so the ruler we're using is Lucifer. Because he's good. He's just good. And his rune, his master rune is still a thing.
Yep.
I mean, still a thing. So that's the ruler, and the deck's called Hell's Army. So thank you for sending us this video, or this deck, and we will we'll show it for you guys. So without further ado, Lucifer, Divinity 10, Judgments for 5. It's a little hefty, but it's worth it. And he's got Energize for black. He judgments into an 8/8 flyer with Divinity 10 as well.
So weakest of all the stats, really.
Yeah, but when he judgments, you get to make your opponent discard 3 cards.
Which is, yeah, good.
Great. You have cards in your hand. You don't anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks. And he's like, yes, he's a weak person, but at that late in the game when you actually do judgment, he kind of becomes a threat because you're both at I don't have cards in hand mode.
Yeah. And he is a flyer at the same time, so overall he's still pretty good. He's solid.
Yeah, he's still pretty solid. Alright, so the runes, they're pretty simple. We're going to be using probably the same 2 runes for a very long time,
yes.
So be with me. Bear with us. But first off, we got his master rune. It's just too good. Black Rosario.
Yep.
2 black for Divinity 2 master rune. It's only for Lucifer. Your opponent banishes 2 Resonators.
Simple as that.
Super easy, super quick, super efficient. 2 mana kill those 2 dudes.
Yep.
Or they get to choose, but whatever. You only really use it when they have 2 dudes. Next up is Jet Black Wings, and it's the highest cost Divinity one we have, but it's worth it. So 2 black and 1 for Divinity 3 quick cast. Resonators your opponent control get -6/-6 until the end of the turn. So it's just great combat tricks. So when you're like swinging in for all your dudes, and then they block, you're just like all these dudes get little.
It's good.
And anything that comes in after it still gets that -6 because it's a blanket effect.
That's the worst part of it all, playing against it.
Yeah. So you're just like, oh, you played another dude, it's still dead.
Yep.
And then the other one that we got, another rune, is just Undeath. It's Divinity 2.
Yeah.
It's 1 black. Put target skeleton or zombie with total cost 3 or less from your graveyard into the field. This is mostly in here because this deck, you really just run skeletons and zombies, and they're all under 3 mana. For the most part. We have a couple others that are not, but it's 1 mana, get a dude back.
Exactly. There's like no downside to that.
Yeah, I mean, you're only losing 1 mana. The other card that costs 1 mana, technically, it normally costs 2. Divinity 1, quick cast. It's called Power of Immortality.
Yep.
Card is absolute bonkers, and I love it. It is a chant rune, and you may pay 1 less to play this card from a rune area, so essentially 1 black. Target Resonator gains +4/+0, and whenever this card is put in the graveyard from the field, put this card into the field rested under its owner's control at the end of turn.
Yep.
Or it gets that until the end of turn.
So your small dude trades and comes back, and then all the effects.
Yeah, and any inner triggers happen or whatever. Like, if you got to see the Brawl, I got to use this on a Corpse Sorcerer after he tried to counter it, and I just was like, I don't care, bring it back, because thanks.
Yeah, bring more dudes back, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just silly. And then the rune that everyone either loves or hates.
They need to use it for sure.
If you're playing black, it's definitely worth looking into. I will always use it pretty much just because it's so strong in my opinion. And it's Rune Earth. It's 5 mana for Divinity 2 chant/rune. You may pay 1 less to play from your rune area, so essentially 4. You destroy target magic stone. Resonators your opponent's control get -4/-4. So for 4 mana, you kill a stone,
yep.
Put them back a turn,
yep.
And you kill their little dudes.
Oh yeah.
Because on turn 4, they're most likely only going to have like 4 4s or under. Like 2 4s, 3 4s, or 3 3s, or 2 2s. Like,
even so, it just makes them have bad blocks.
Yeah.
Immediately after that.
Yeah, because it is a blanket effect, so they just linger until the end of turn.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted to, you could actually change out one of the other runes and put in Sandstorm with it to just do the extra 2 to kill 6 6s.
Yeah.
And if you really, really need to...
late game.
Yeah, if you have the mana, you can play Rune Earth and a Jet Black Wings and do -7 to the board, or -10 to the board.
While destroying a stone.
Yeah, while being like, hey, that stone's dead, and your dudes are dead, because they're dead. But that's a very iffy situation.
But that's what runes are for, right?
Yeah, I mean
they're there.
It's an extra hand.
To pick and choose.
Yeah, and it is a full 10 divinity, so you get all 5 of them.
No worries there.
So it's super nice on that regard. But that is his chant / runes, and they're super good.
All right. With the creatures, of course, we'll go into the first one here, Majin Dark Elf. You know this classic one from all the decks that Kevin has made. 1 red, 6/6 swiftness, so whoa. But play this card only if damage is dealt this turn. And of course, we'll go through the stones and you'll see how that works.
Yep.
The next one, Skeleton Horde. Just the 1 black 4/4. When a card put in the graveyard, make a 1/1 Skeleton Darkness Resonator. Simple as that.
So this dude's simple, but I did not give him as much credit as I should have.
Especially with all the lots of tricks.
This dude does a lot more than I actually gave him like props for when I first saw him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's a 1-mana 4/4 that kind of just brings you a 1/1. I don't care. But if nothing else, it gives you double blockers. If nothing else.
Yeah.
Like it literally clogs up the field so you don't just die. That's really the very basic that it does. Otherwise, it can just be like, hey, kill that dude, I get it, dude.
Yeah.
And with all the like recursion that this deck can do, or like other, like with Corpse Sorcerer, you just get so much value out of them.
Exactly. And of course, tell us the cute little trick.
Alright, so we got my other Dark Elf Bay, because I mean, it's Frayla.
Yeah.
But it is the 2-drop Frayla, the Resonator, Servant of the Demon Fire. She's a red and 1 for a 6/6. Dark Elf / Wicked Spirit, and that does matter.
Yeah.
When this card enters the field, if it gains swiftness until the end of turn, if you don't control another creature, another Resonator. And whenever this card attacks, another target Resonator you control gets +4/+0 and swiftness until the end of turn.
But there's more.
And if it does, at the end of the next turn, or at the next end of turn, its controller banishes it.
Yep. So unfortunately, you lose your dudes, but I mean, Skeleton Horde, that's fine, right? Swinging with a 1-drop 8/4. You swing and then you get another one. Seems awesome.
Wow, I just realized that you don't actually have to swing and lose your dude. That's pretty amazing. So if it turns out bad on combat, like before you swing, you can be like, no swing, and he doesn't just die. Because it says if it does at the next end of turn.
Oh, if it does attack, yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
I just now realized that, but hey, it's okay. Most of the time you're going to be swinging because it's probably beneficial.
Yeah, especially with this next creature, Patchwork Frankenstein. It's 2 darkness, 10/10, and then when this card attacks or blocks, it doesn't recover during the next recovery phase. But with Frayla, it's just going to die. But swinging for 14 is pretty good.
It's 2 mana swing for 14. You're just like, Brarg, dude's big.
Like, that's a lot of damage you did not see before.
And then once he's dead, you're just like, cool, next turn, Undeath, bring him back.
Yep.
Because I can. It's just too good.
Or even the next synergy is a Corpse Sorcerer. And 2 darkness, 1 6/6 enter. Field, put target zombie with total cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the field. So there you go.
Yeah, he gets back the big Frankenstein real easy.
Yep.
Next up, we got the Immortal Commander. He has 3 mana for a 7/7 flyer. He's a vampire. And when he enters, you search your deck for skeleton or zombie, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And then shuffle your deck. So he's just there to help you tutor for what you need. Like any kind of little dude you need.
Yeah. And it's good that it's not look at the top 4 or 5. It's literally just go get whatever little dude you need.
It's useful for that. And he also is useful for being a 3-drop because there's another use for him. And I'll go over that in just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty good for what he does. He's not like the best, but he's a dude that can fly and gives you another dude.
And still a 7/7 flyer.
Yeah. And the final big dude of the deck, and our heavy hitter, you would call it that, is Beelzebub, Lord of Flies. He is 2 black and 3 for a 15/15 flyer. Dude's big.
Yeah.
When this card enters the field, it gets 5 -1/-1 counters on this card. So essentially it's a 10/10 that comes into play. Whenever a Resonator you control, or whenever a Resonator your opponent controls with a -1 encounter dies, you put one on him. Another negative counter. So you're just like, hey, keep putting negative counters on your dudes, and when it dies, I get one back.
It's insane.
That card's insane. You can remove a -1 counter from this card to put a -1 counter on their dude. So anytime they have one, you get one back when that dude actually dies. And you can just keep killing their dudes. So if they have little dudes, this dude just comes in as like -1, -1, -1, -1.
And it doesn't matter because you get them back.
Yeah. So you just get to be like, hey, kill all those little dudes.
Be like,
fantastic.
And then you swing and be like, math is for blockers. Good luck on deciding where these counters are going.
Yeah.
And have fun with that.
Yeah, that's essentially what he's there for, is because he makes combat math really difficult for your opponent.
I really want to use him more. He's so good.
And we do actually have a way to cheat him in, which is actually the next card we'll go over.
Yep. It's a Majin Subjugation. It's a 1 red champ. As an additional cost to play this card, you banish a Resonator. So before anything responses or anything, that you just banish a dude. Search your deck for a Wicked Spirit with total cost X or less, and where X is the banished Resonator, total cost +2, then put it on the field and shuffle your deck.
So essentially, you can get either a Frayla for sacking a 1-drop or under, like a token or a 1-drop to get a Frayla, because she's a Wicked Spirit. Or you can sack a 3-drop, either the Corpse Sorcerer or the Immortal Commander, to get Beelzebub, because he is a Wicked Spirit as well. So you're like, cool, Corpse Sorcerer, bring back this Patchwork Frankenstein. Sacrifice the Corpse Sorcerer, go get a Beelzebub.
Yep.
I now have 25 power in play that you can't really deal with, just cuz. I mean, it's just 1 mana to go get a 15/15.
Especially if you have Energize on turn 3. You're just like, yeah, do that, use Energize black, and then use your red to do this and get Beelzebub.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Oh, yeah.
It just, card's really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Except don't use it with this one, though. Life or Death Struggle. 2 darkness, chant. Each player discards a card, and then each player banishes the Resonator with the highest cost among Resonators you control. So for you, you're not losing much. But for them, it's pretty good.
Yeah, most often than not, you're going to lose either a Frayla or a Patchwork Frankenstein. I mean, if you have this dude in play, the Beelzebub, then sure, you're going to lose him, but it's whatever.
Yep. Or
Or you can pad yourself with the little Immortal Commanders and lose those dudes because they cost 3, but it is what it is.
He already replaced himself anyway.
I mean, he did his job, and life and death is just like, hey, we're going to kill some things.
Exactly. The next one is Null Darkness. It has beautiful Scarlet on it. 1 darkness, 1 red, quick cast, destroy target Resonator. But if you have Null, which is no cards on your hand at the time, destroy up to 1 target J-Ruler as well. And for that, you have to have both targets to kill the J-Ruler.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have both targets, and you have to have Null.
Yeah.
And I finally got to do that again. It's been a minute since we've even seen that card played, so that kind of struck me as odd, and I loved it. And then in the Brawl, I got to kill a Loki and a Fenrir, and I was like, this is awesome. So I was like, kill that dude and kill that dude.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was beautiful.
He was not okay with it, but
no.
it's okay. So it is what it is. Next up, we have Bloodspray.
Yep.
It's really your card draw. It's 2 mana, 2 black for a Chant Mystery. Draw 2 cards. This card does 300 damage to you. Awaken, you can remove a mystery counter to kill a Resonator with total cost 2 or less. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah, just draw 2 cards, lose 3 life, and kill a dude for 2 mana. I don't really see what's wrong with that right now.
No, yeah.
Because at the moment, 2-drop and under is just going wild. So if you really need another answer to the little Jizo statues, Bloodspray is a pretty good answer to that if you're playing black.
Exactly.
Because you're like, cool, draw 2 cards, lose 3, kill your statue that's like a 16/16, because it's still just under 2. Right?
Yeah, we're tired of that. The next one is a Life Severing Blade. It's a quick cast, chant, 1 darkness, 2. If a Resonator is put in the Resonator you control is put in the graveyard, you can pay 2 less for this card, so it's 1 darkness, and it just destroys target Resonator. Simple as that.
Yeah, and this card synergizes with this deck so much just because you're already sacrificing your dudes to do other things, whether it's Majin Subjugation or Frayla at the end of turn, just all kinds of silly stuff, and you can just be like, cool, this dude's dead, kill that dude.
Yep.
Or you swing in your 4/4 and then Power of Immortality, so you're just like, hey, cool, the dude takes 8 and dies, so we trade, and then my dude dies, and now I'm going to kill your other dude, because that's what you do.
Yep.
It's just silly. There's so much silly, like, shenanigans you can do. And the final card that does a lot of fun shenanigans in a deck like this, and it's actually one of my new favorites that I've been playing a lot lately, is Wolf's Rain, and it is 3 mana, a black and 2 for a chant. You put 3/3 Darkness Beast Wolf Resonators into play with Swiftness and Precision.
Yep.
And at the end of turn, you remove them from the game. So you essentially get 9 power for 3 mana to do what you want with, because they Swiftness and Precision. And you can swing 3 at a thing to deal at least some damage to it, Rune Earth to kill it, and then Majin Subjugation your wolf.
Yeah.
It's just so silly the amount of like things you get to do with Wolf's Rain. And if you are running the Rain runes,
yep,
it gets bigger. But you know.
Yeah, and that's always fun.
Yeah, Wolf's Rain's really good.
It is. It's just a surprise too. You just immediately like, oh, I have my J roller, and then like, bam, you have this. It's like, oh, well, that's cool. He's probably dead.
Yeah, it is kind of a good J ruler kill just because it's got precision.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a big surprise because it's one of those cards that's overlooked a lot because it's really, I don't know. I like it, but it's not like top tier card.
Say like turn 3, they plop down to 9/9. It's like, okay, I can deal with that. But when it's like 9 power with swiftness and it can kill anything, you're like, okay,
yeah,
let's hold on there.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you're like, hey, take 9. Bow,
Yeah,
bow.
just take 9 quickly.
Yeah, why not? That's it for the deck. We have the stones. They're pretty simple. We have 2 Magic Stone of Undead, which is Lich's Stone. You add a black, or you tap, remove or put the top card of your deck into the graveyard. It's there just to fuel like the Corpse Sorcerer and get back other cards. But most of the time, I'm just gonna use it for black because I mean I'd rather play the dude first, in my own opinion. But
exactly, and you don't want to end a turn get a kill spell in the graveyard accidentally.
Yeah, it's rough when that happens.
Yeah.
And then you have 4 Null Magic Stone, which is the blue or the black-red dual stone. It normally adds black. You can produce a red, and it does 200 damage to you.
Yep.
And if you have Null, you can banish this card to produce a black or a red, or black and a red. But this is your way to play Majin Dark Elf. So turn 1, if you get a Null Stone, you're like, cool, I'll take 2, swing 6.
Yep.
Fair trade. Yeah, that's the trade you're taking. And then the last card we have is Stone of the Dark Castle, which is the Mystery Stone. Comes into play, you get a mystery counter on your ruler, and it adds a black. That's really your only way to make mystery counters, and you only have 1 card that uses them, so you're gonna get enough for it to be worth it, because the mystery card that uses them only needs to remove 1.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's not even like a necessity on the card; it's just extra
bonus
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the deck is super fun. I liked what I saw when I played it and how it felt because it's very aggro and it's a lot different than you think it is.
Yes.
Because it does a lot more than I actually expected it to, honestly. Because I was like, I feel like I'm going to get gassed out really quickly just because I have a lot of 1 and 2 drops. But it surprised me a lot because it's just like, hey, I can survive a lot of weird things and not care.
Yeah, I always looked at his hands like, you actually have like 3 cards in your hand still? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Where are these dudes coming from?
And the Bloodsprays is enough to get you back in the game. So it's definitely a fun deck. If you need something to play at your locals, definitely give it a try. It'll catch a lot of people off guard just because of how off the wall it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's still there, but it's a little different.
And seems relatively cheap too.
Yeah, yeah. But we want to say thank you guys for joining us here on Geektopia, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep up to date on all of our future content, make sure you tap that bell.
And go ahead and check us out on our streams. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. And thank you for staying here on the island.
Later, guys.
Bye.